Good morning, Likouté, Moharan, Tinyana. For Nishmat Shlomo, this is donated Nishmat Shlomo Ben Esther, and for the Refuah Shlema of Grash Shira Bat Mesoda. So now we're changing gears now. Yishai Ben Rena, Refuah Shlema. Always to look back over your shoulder. We've said the tzaddik is Rahman. He's merciful. He gives dat. The dat is to save people from sin. The tzaddik and everybody has to leave in the world children and talmidim that will continue his job after 120 years. And then when you have somebody that's continuing your job, you are still connected to this world. When you're still connected to this world, you have a great benefit. What's called makifim. Because makif is anytime you explain something that you know, which is called pnimi, you're getting something which you don't know downloaded to you, which is called a makif. The makif of the Chacham Ador, we said before, it's called Prinat Asagav Ma. It's a Prinav Ma Chamita, Ma Pishpashta, because his Hasaga of his makif is connected to the world above. That means that we are now in time and space, the next world is above time and space. So if you know everything you can in this world, so when you get information from the next world, you're getting a makif which is called Marav Tufra. You're getting the makif of the next world. However, since it's from the next world, it is a makif of realizing how small you are, because you're realizing how far there is to go. You've just graduated from kindergarten. You've just graduated from, you just graduated from elementary school. Now you're going to high school. You're going to university. You're going to the big leagues. You're going to the next world. What do you know already from this world? What does it count? It's nothing. It's asagot of baby asagot. We're going to laugh at the asagot. In the next world, we're going to laugh at the asagot. They are nothing. And so if the tzaddik is already privy to that, so he gets such a bitul and an anava, that he's able to live that and then he's able to give it over. The tzaddik needs two types of avodot. And this is called kon. One is menokol aretz kevodo, and one is machamita mash pishpashta. The tzaddik is doing two avodot at the same time. With some people that are doing good, they're advancing well, they're tzaddikim, they're Ovdei Hashem, they're called Bnei Aliyah, they're called Shamayim, they're called Darimala. Darimala, he needs to show them why be complacent. You think you've made it? You didn't even start yet. You didn't even start scratching the surface of the Torah. We have not begun even to know even the ABCs of the Torah Kedusha Hashem. How do you think that you're going to start now to put your feet up and start kicking back and starting to, take breaks? Get moving. The Chavetz Chaim was able to do cheshbon nefesh, like we said, of a few minutes a year he would cry on a few minutes a year bitul Torah. He knew how many minutes a year he was bimatel Torah. Now we need a tzaddik emes to tell him, don't mivatel even 1 minute, even 30 seconds. You're not himself. Even in your sleep shouldn't be mivatel. Chaim Kanevsky would do siyumim when he woke up from a nap. He did a siyum before the nap. He woke up and he did another siyum. He said, "What siyum are you doing? You finished them a second in sleep." You understand what that means? Who is able to give to the tzaddik that push to keep going? The tzaddik emes. And that's called menokol aretz kevodo. That's called machamita. You don't know a thing yet. On the other hand, there are people that are in the mud. There are people that are going to give up. There are people, and that's most people, and that's this generation especially. And by the way, that's the whole Avodah. Rabbi Natan is mostly saying menokol aretz kevodo. 90% of the Likouté Halachot is menokol aretz kevodo. Hashem is with you. Don't give up. Even the smallest mitzvah, even the good thought, even one thought that you had good is going to save you after 120 years. We spoke stories on Shabbat of the smallest little advancement that a person can make, that it's counting, and that Hashem is with you, and even you can serve Hashem. Hashem's never going to give up on you, and that the tzaddik has to give a people, because otherwise, if a person is going to focus only on what he's missing, if you say ma chamita, ma pishpashta to the guy in the bottom, he's going to say, I'm out of here. I'm not able. It's too late for me. I'm not wanted here. I'm not coming here. We tell him, no, you're wanted here. You're very chashuv. The whole world's standing on you. You don't understand the nachat ruach Hashem has for you. Benu said in Mashal that we take a guy, the kings used to take a prisoner, and put him in an arena. And they used to take out a lion. And he had to fend for himself finding the lion. And so even though he would get massacred at the end, but the people had a sick, twisted pleasure from seeing how he would fend off and jump over and be able to hold off for that 10-20 minutes that he was able to to remain alive. So even though he got destroyed at the end, there's a great nachat to the king watching that. It's obviously, Navdin, Ben Kodesh Techon, Hashem is a great nachat to see you fighting, to see you not giving up, to see you even putting effort, even though if you fall. Even though you did the Aveira and you failed and you went into it. And Rabbi Natan is going to, Rabbeinu has those diburim. And Rabbeinu is going to take those diburim, Rabbi Nosson is going to take those diburim and develop them and fatten them and serve them to you on a silver platter. That is the Likouté Alchot. Don't give up. Read the Alim Netrufa. It's don't give up. En Yehush Ba'olam Klal. And you don't even know that from all the Yeridah, and you're going to get to the highest places from the Yeridah Dafka. All that's the diburim that we need to tell the people who are in a low matzav. The people that are down on their luck, the people that have nothing, that's what we need to give them diburim. So let's read that now. So that's what we're up to. So that's Sagav the Tzaddik. The job of the tzaddik has to be these two things, and that's what's referred to in Kol, Ki Kol Bashamayim Uva'aretz. Kol, he's dealing with the Shamayim, he's dealing with the high people, and he's dealing with the low people as well. Rabbeinu he's dealing with the Aretz. He's able to deal with Rabbi Natan, who knows Shas at 13 years old, who's a Gadol, who's a Gaon, who's a Posek. He's able to get Rabbi Natan to realize that he hasn't begun at all to do anything with his life, to the small business that he wanted to do. Rabbi Natan, he felt to the point where it's the biggest waste of time, and he can't waste even a few hours of doing inventory for a store that would give him parnassah for the whole month. He would be on the way to go to work. He couldn't go to work. He couldn't go do it. He had to go to Rabbeinu because he realized, do you know what I'm losing in that 1 hour? What do you mean? Work for an hour, you're gonna have parnassah for a month. I can't. I know what I'm losing. Who tells Rabbi Natan that? Rabbeinu. What did you start already? You know the Shas already. You know something? You know where I'm holding? You didn't begin. And to the guy that's a maskin, to the guy that doesn't believe in Hashem, to the guy that's fighting against the religion, to the guy that's trying to uproot Torah, Rabbeinu will play chess with him, Rabbeinu will shmooze with him, Rabbeinu will do math calculations with him, and at the end he's going to give him all kinds of hints that Hashem is with him. Don't give up. You can also pick yourself up.
Torah tells you how to be everything, right? It tells you how to be a parent, tells you how to be
everything.
A boss, it's crazy.
All Torot. Rabbeinu said, in one Torah, you can become Ish Kasher. With one Torah alone, that you'll live, you'll internalize and become part of you, you become Ish Kasher Be'emet Afilu Tzaddik. Even one lesson. Even one. So now, we're going to Otchet. Okay? But so far, you have all the Akdamot. Gam Zeh Chacham Ador, and here we're going to have some questions. But here it's amazing. This tzaddik ador, this chacham ador, צריך לדע איזה מקיפים שהוא צריך להמשיכם. ואיזה המקיפים שאין צריך להמשיכם. After we read this, there's going to be a question. The Papaot and the Biro Likouté, we're going to ask a big question over here. And we have to think about that. But here, the tzaddik, he has to be careful which hasaga, which makif he's bringing down. בשביל זה, יש דברים שאין רשאים לגלותם בפני תלמידים. The tzaddik has to know certain things you don't say, even though you know them. And the reason why you don't say them, simple pshat, is because you can't handle the next download. Too much to handle. כי אם יגלה אותן הדברים, יכנסו המקיפים אחרים בתוך שכלו. What's going to happen is, if you give over this information, so you're going to get a new makif, a new download. ולפעמים אין צריך לקבל אלו המקיפים. You're not supposed to bring them down. כמו למשל, example, שהרב מדבר עם תלמידו איזה פשט גמרא רש"י תוספות. Like we said, any Magid understands this. When the Rebbe is teaching over a Gemara, so he's explaining the Gemara with Rashi and Tosfot, ובתוך דבריו הוא בא לאיזה קושיה, and while he's explaining it, he just thought of something in the Gemara that he didn't realize. When he's in his office, when he's at home, when he's preparing the Gemara, it seems crystal clear. It's glad. When he's explaining, he said, 1 second, there seems to be a problem in the Mahalach. So, ואותו קושיה בבחינת מקיף אצלו. Why only now, when he's giving over the shir, he thinks of that question? Why didn't he have the question when he was preparing the Gemara in his house? Because only now that he gave over what he knew crystal clear, he gave over his pnimi, So now he got the new makif. The makif is a new information in the sugya, which is the question. Doesn't make sense. If you make the cheshbon of the Gemara, it doesn't make sense. V'tekef ki lo yada mimenu b'tchila. He didn't know it when he was preparing. V'tekef shenofel sichlo zot akushia. When he has this new level of understanding, it's already a level to understand the question. It's already very high to know a question. It's already very good to notice a discrepancy and a stira, a contradiction. It's actually very good. Many times you say, I don't know the answer, but it's a good question. The question itself is a higher knowledge. So you just got that higher level of information. Hu omra b'fnei talmido. What he'll do, he's going to say it over to his talmidim. Ubitoch kach shemazbir lo akushya. This happens all the time also. When you're explaining the kushya, nofero b'sichlo terutz al akushya. So now as he explained the question, what did he just do? He just explained the makif. He just gave over his pnimi. Because he had the pnimi in the Gemara. Now he got the makif, it's the question. Now he's giving him the question, which is pnimi. Right? And now what?
Giving the answer.
He's giving the question. The question is his new pnimi. Yeah?
Okay.
You know the Gemara without any question. That's your pnimi. When you explain it, you got a makif. Now the makif becomes pnimi. It is makif until he gets it. When he's explaining it, before he explains it, it's makif. When he explains it, he gets the download of the pnimi. So now he gets this new question inside of him, which is now his pnimi, which was makif. Now once he says over the question, he gets the answer. Because so long as he didn't say over the question, so the answer is a makif. Once he sends over the question, so now he gets the answer, which is the makif.
This happens all the time. I don't know, for me at least, sometimes I want to ask a question, and the second I say it,
The question, you got the answer.
I think it and not understand. I don't understand. The second I say the words out loud, I'm like, oh no, okay, I got it.
You got it. And you give the answer. Now, look at this. No fed b'sichol tirutz al akusha. Nimtza shechozer u'masig makif acher. So he's getting a new makif. Shu tirutz al akusha, which is an answer to the question. V'azai omer gam tirutz b'fnei hatalmid. So what do? Say the answer. So we were learning the Gemara, and all of a sudden there's a problem, and as you say the problem, but we can answer, and it happens all the time. Ach, shemegale gam tirutz b'fnei hatalmid. When you say the answer, azai nichnas bo od makif acher. So you just said the answer, which was now your pnimi, but then there's a makif which is above that. V'az al yedei ze hasechel sheba alav ata. So when you're giving over the answer, which you're getting the new makif, you're getting a new question on your answer. Hadrakushya leduchta. The question is coming back. Because it's true you gave an answer, but now you're realizing a question on your answer. That actually the Gemara doesn't make sense anymore, and the original question, we're back to square one. V'aderabba, ata kushya chazya urechava yoter betchila. It is greater than it was. Nimtza shal yedei shegila tirutz b'fnei hatalmid. By giving over. Okay.
Two pages.
When you give over the question, when you give over the answer, b'fnei hatalmid, nichnas bo makif acher. You're getting a new makif, which is dehainu sechel chadash. Al yedei ze chazra kushya nimkoma biyoter oz. The question is stronger. It's bigger. It's stronger. And you know what happens? You mix yourself up. And you're going to mix up everybody if you start saying that. A good teacher judges the level of the Talmidim to know how much he can say not to break them. You got me on the simple level. When you went there, you lost me. Okay, I got the question. Even got the answer. But then you asked me the question on the answer. You question on the answer. Now I don't know where you are anymore. So you see, but the Rav almost can't go forward because he really now has a question. So at the end of the day, and really what we do is you say, you know what, we have a question over here. We're going forward, and we'll think about that later, and we'll mi'ayen, and we'll get an answer. But then, so what did we just see? That a person is teaching the Gemara. When he prepares the Gemara, he doesn't know any question. So what he prepared is his pnim. When he gives over the Gemara, as he's giving it over, he gets a question. That question was makif, now it becomes pnimi. So now there's a question in the Gemara. When he says the question to the Talmidim, he's saying over the pnimi, but then he got to the new makif, which was out of his reach, which is the answer to the question. If he says the answer to the question, he's getting a new kushya. So now his original question is really much stronger. He gave an answer, but one second, that answer doesn't make sense because of A, B, C. So now, if he's going to say over that, he might get a new answer. But then he's just going to, it might be too much to give over to the Talmidim, because you need a lot of Akdamot. So this is an example that we relate to. We relate to this. Says Rabbeinu, the same thing with the Tzaddik Hador. Let's read. Kimo ken yesh basagot. שיש דברים שאסור לגלותם. כי אם יגלה זה התירוץ בפני התלמיד, if you're going to say the תירוץ to the תלמיד, יכנוס בו מקיף חדש, שעל ידו יקושיה חזקה ורחבה יותר מבתחילה, עד שיוכל להיכנס בהשגות מקיפים, שהם נזמן מהזמן. שאין הזמן מספיק לבאר הקושיות והתירוצים שיש בו. So now you're going to bring down a makif that there's not enough time in the world to deal with it, to figure it out.
Can we stop there?
כי הם נאמנים מהזמן. כי כל מה שהוא מגלה איזה שכל, קושיה או תירוץ, נכנס בו שכל חדש. שהוא בחינת מקיף. על כן, אם לא יהיה נזהר בדבריו, if the tzaddik is not careful, לדדק איזה דבר לגלות ואיזה דבר שלא לגלות. What do I say and what do I don't say? What do I not say? על ידי זה יהיה נכנס בקושות תירוצים שאין הזמן מספיק לבארם. Then the tzaddik is going to get into a place, לכאורה, that he's going to not even have enough time to figure out the answers. We need a bureau on this. We need a clarity. כן בחינת מקיפים שהם נאמנה מהזמן. כן מוכרח החכם לעשות סייג לדבריו. Therefore the tzaddik has to know how to be for the fence. לדקדק ולזהר מה לגלות ומה שלא לגלות. באופן שלא ישיג רק אותן המקיפים שצריך להשיג. That the tzaddik needs to get things that he's able to withstand. ולא יבוא להשיג מקיפים שאין צריך להשיג. He has to be careful not to get things that he's not able to deal with. What did we just say? That you're always getting new makifim, but be careful which makif you're going to bring down, because you're just going to get into a question. The Gemara was so clear. I understood everything. It was so wonderful. And now I have such a problem that I don't even know how to figure this out. I don't even know where to look. And if you don't know where to look, I'm so mibulban, I'm losing the taste of the... It's an example. And maybe, but for the tzaddik on his level, that he's now getting, he's being masig, he's giving over hasagot, he's giving over lofty ideas. If he is going to give something to the talmidim, he has to know that he's bringing down something too big. And if it might be too big, it might be too big for him to be able to deal with, to handle. The problem with this is we already said that the tzaddik is getting the hasagav ma. We said just before that the tzaddik, his makifim are the hasagav olam haba. And here we're telling you, be careful, don't bring them down because you might be too hard to deal with. We just said at the beginning when we were reviewing yesterday what we said last time, is that the hasagav, he's at the highest level of chokhmah in this world and he's bringing that, therefore his makif is the next world. And so that's why he has prinat ma. And now we're saying, be careful tzaddik. Because you don't want to bring the one from next world, because it's going to confuse you and put you into too many... You're going to get now a question and a problem that you don't have enough time in the world to be able to do it. So what is it? And so the Talmidim of Rav Nosson are Omed on this. They point out this question. We're not going to give the answer now. We're going to finish the yot and maybe come back and see it. How much time do we have?
I don't know. I think
We'll stop here. We'll stop here.